In today's video, I'm going to analyze the following myths. What is the minimum speed to run over your enemy? How many kilometers can you travel with a full tank of fuel? And is the buggy really the most efficient one of all of them? Only here in GameVestment's PUBG Mobile MythBusters. Coucou everyone, welcome back, it's your host GV and I hope you're having an amazing day. If you can, please check out the community tab after this video. I need your opinion about two things that you might be interested. In the last MythBusters episode, I analyzed if it's actually better to open crates while changing the server with a VPN, and if opening crates at 3 AM still works. This video received a lot of love, so thank you so much for that. And please don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this type of videos. But now it's time for next myth. And the next one comes from the Damn Gaming, and he or she says 37 km per hour is the minimum vehicle speed to kill or knock out an enemy. Highly requested myth, so I really think it's time to cover this one, especially because this channel has a history with vehicles and MythBusters. So in case you forgot, I already covered rebounding a vehicle of another one in order to kill a player. What is the best speed to jump from a vehicle? Can you get inside your enemy's car at full speed? Is it possible to jump over a moving vehicle? What happens if you throw a Molotov cocktail and the vehicle is moving? And many more. If you miss one of these ones, I totally recommend you watch them after this video, of course, and you will find the links in the description below. Everything's ready, so let's go right into it. For this experiment, I'm going to be comparing different distances and different speeds to determine the minimum speed you need in order to run over a player. And don't worry, because I am with my group of unpaid actors, so nobody's going to get hurt.
Yeah, boy.
For the first one, I'm just going to use 24 meters as a reference. No surprise there, it's obvious the player is going to get knocked, so we're going to keep moving until we find the magic number, 13 meters, and the first thing we're going to notice is going to be that the player is going to get knocked with a speed that is below 37 km per hour. But wait, because I still have a lot of things that I want to show you that I discovered. For example, same distance, but now we're going to lower the speed something below 30 km per hour. And the player is going to survive. So at this point, we're just trying to find the range and see what is going to work and what doesn't work. And believe me when I tell you, never pay unpaid actors to do this kind of job. I'm serious, you don't want to make this mistake. Now let's move to 10 meters. The speed is going to be above 30 again. And mission accomplished, the player is knocked. Let's try this again just to be sure. And same results, so far so good. 7 meters. 6 meters, and this is where something interesting is going to happen. In this case, the speed is going to be below 30, it's going to be between 24 and 27. Just take into account that this is not a guarantee, this is not always going to work, so if you want to play it safe, just go for any speed above 30.
But GV, if there's any difference if you're boosting?
That is a really good question, so let's check it out. Again, 6 meters, the speed is going to be 32 and we're going to get a knock. So now the question is, what happens if we try to run over someone that is 5 meters away with a speed of 26 and it's not going to work? Even while boosting with a speed of 29 and still is not going to work. But if you manage to reach 30 km per hour, now you have the knock. So at this point you can start seeing a correlation between distance and speed. Just remember, this is not going to be perfect all the time, but at least now you know that in a range of 5 meters, you can reach a speed of 30 km per hour, and that can be enough to knock a player down. In my case, I always try to run over an enemy with a high speed, but now I know that it's not necessary to drive that far. If you think or you see a snake that is at least 5 meters away from you, just click on the brake, at the same time click on the boost, release the brake and go for it. But wait, because there's more. If you're going full speed to run over someone, I will not recommend you to hit the brake or to stop, because if your speed gets below 30 km per hour, it's most likely not going to work. Unless you drift and you hit the enemy with the side of the vehicle, I believe that in that case, yes, you can knock not only the player but even your teammates. And in some cases, take into account that vehicles in PUBG Mobile are a little bit broken, And this probably has happened to you. You are driving at a really good speed, you are ready to knock the player down, and for some reason you have no idea why he or she is still alive. Really annoying, really unlucky, so let me know down below if that happened to you before or not. This was a really interesting myth, thank you so much for sharing, and if you learned something new with this one, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell, because the next one is also going to be full with useful information. And I still don't know what's the problem between you two. We have our answer and I'm going to bust this one. 37 is not going to be the minimum, actually anything above 30 km/h should do the job, and you can reach this speed even if you are 5 meters away from the enemy. But remember, this is not a guarantee, sometimes it's not going to work, so just take that into account. Next, myth. And the next one comes from Set to Destroy and they say you can travel more distance with the same amount of fuel without using any boost. I think a lot of people already know this answer, so I'm going to be focusing on the question, how much more distance can you travel without boosting? How big is this difference? And the second one, I hear it a lot, the buggy has a lot more fuel than the other vehicles. Really? I guess there's only one way to find out. For this experiment, which took hours to make, and I'm freaking serious, it really took hours, to answer this question once and for all, I'm going to be testing this with a Dacia, with a Jeep, and with a buggy. And I'm going to count how many kilometers these vehicles can travel from 100% full gas can to 0%, including the distance that they can travel with 50% gas can and 25% gas can. And since all of this was really boring to record, and there's not a lot of commentary that I can add, but still you know that in this channel there's no clickbait, and you know that I always like to show the proof and the process. And you probably already know what is going to happen next. But wait, because Thanos is dead. A spoiler alert, by the way. I should say spoiler alert before the spoiler, I think. Anyways, you saw the totems, you saw the footprints, you heard roaring sounds during night mode.
My name is Jeff.
There's a new purple dinosaur in town.
But GV, Thanos is not a dinosaur and Godzilla is not purple.
In this channel, reality can be whatever I want. Enjoy!
Ever since the day that you went away, you've been sending flowers, flowers to me, flowers today, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. Flowers, flowers to me, flowers today, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me
We have our answer and I'm going to approve the first one. And to answer your question, among these three, the UAZ is going to be the most efficient one, and that's also the reason why I'm going to bust the second myth. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to bring Thanos back. Send me some chicken please if you have time, this is my account. Big shout out to my patrons and Cuckoo members for making this video possible. And as always, thank you so much for watching and I will snipe you soon.